last time on the curse of the werewolf's bride, you guys were attacked by some vicious werewolves, and you escaped with your lives just barely, to travel towards a tower that you have heard about from the Rictavio. Rictavio told you about this tower. He handed you a map, and you guys have traveled there. Supposedly, that's what you estimate. The tower stands on Lake Baratok, and you guys sort of have a miniature map of what this looks like, but basically there is a bluff and there are waters surrounding, and there is this like narrow peninsula that heads into the middle of the lake with the tower standing atop it. It's quite a large tower, and it is, you can see that, and just to sort of mimic what we said last time, I said this last time, but I'll say it again. The tower is old and decrepit. There are collapsing scaffolds that are sort of wrapping around one side, and there's a large gash split into the left side of the tower from where you were standing looking at it. You were facing north. And there is parked at the base of the tower, you see that there is a barrel-topped wagon that is spattered with mud, and you do not recognize this wagon. It certainly appears like wagons you've seen before, like the Vistani wagons, but it is not Rictavio's wagon that you just recently were in contact with. The tower looks to be about 80 feet tall, mostly intact, has a big gash on the side with some collapsing scaffolding, but mostly intact. Got cat butts here. Okay, so you reach this tower, and I'm gonna let you guys kind of decide how you want to go about deciding what to do here.
Zug is going to crawl to the nearest wall and slump against it, licking his wounds.
So you want to walk up to the tower.
Yes.
Okay, so
How far are we from the tower right now?
So if you guys have just approached the situation, again, I'm kind of going to pull up that map that I sent you guys. Do you guys have that still? With Lake Veritalk, that tower. Do you guys see that?
It's
so
Discord, isn't it?
It's in Discord, yes. And I suppose.
Give me a second. I need to scroll past the memes.
Same.
Fair. I can actually bring it up
I see it.
for just a brief moment. Just bring it up for a brief moment here. So this is kind of what the tower looks like. So this was your map anywhere. So here's Valaki, which is where you all came from. You traveled this way, across the bridge, up this way, and over here to Lake Baratok. And basically, you guys approach here, this area, and you can see the tower and the wagon from here, from this little cross section. So if you want to go up to the tower, you will have to walk across that peninsula to get there. But as you guys are standing, you would be in this little crevice area.
Wait, how far is that?
How far is
Yeah.
what?
The jetty that we'd be walking across.
Oh, probably 50 feet.
Oh.
Maybe closer to 80 feet.
Okay. Well, if Zog is walking,
50 and 80 feet.
Zug will start walking
yeah.
across.
Ramis will yell after him. Zog, stop! Rictavio has not yet arrived. We know nothing about this place without him.
Do you guys want me to try to stealth and investigate the perimeter?
Ooh,
Or should I get that close or no?
I like the idea of that. Maybe combined, like you can go in and then I'll have the owl kind of above you, making sure that nothing's sneaking up on you.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm going to sit down.
What's your HP at, Josh?
11.
What?
11?
Oh, wait, have we?
You can't get
I'm
in a
not
fight.
Terrible. Maybe
That's
we
why I
take
want to
a
find
rest
shelter
somewhere?
and get off the road. I don't want to be attacked by like a dire rat or something and die.
There could be a dire rat like underneath the cart you're about to sit next to or something.
Sure, there's dangers everywhere.
Ramirez will continue. Zug,
Well,
Zug!
by the way, sorry, let me make this
sprinting
painfully.
after him.
Let me make it super clear that the wagon is parked right next to the tower. So it is across the way. The wagon is not like where you guys are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So is it across the bridge?
Yeah.
There's no bridge, but
The land bridge.
the
You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The land mass, correct.
So
Sneaking.
So you would like to stealth towards across the landmass bridge towards the tower.
And I want to investigate it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a deck. I don't know. What's your stealth? What is it called? Is it just stealth?
stealth.
Actually, I can just stealth, right?
It's stealth. Like stealth is the name of the
That's the ability.
ability. Okay.
Yes. Not 20.
Not 20. Nice.
Nice.
Not good enough.
Well done, Sindra.
Quit.
Okay, so as you approach the tower, you are very sneaky. And you get up to the tower, and it again looks pretty old. You can see that the griffin statues are covered with moss, and they are looking pretty time worn. So it looks like this tower has probably not been majorly used or majorly in function for a while, at least not super well maintained. You can see that the tower first floor and the scaffolding is like mostly intact. You also see there are arrow slits that are about 6 inches wide and 3 feet tall in the second and third and the fourth floor of the tower. So it appears as though from where you're standing that there might be 4 floors to this tower based off of those little arrow slit windows. And as you circle around, you can see more scaffolding, and you can see the giant gash in the side of the tower. Basically goes all the way from the 3rd floor down. So the tower is slightly exposed to the outdoors on the side, and the scaffolding looks pretty rickety. Yeah.
Is the gash like, how big is it? Like I can see the interior of the tower through it?
On the 2nd and 3rd floor, you may potentially be able to peer in if you were standing on top of the scaffolding.
Gotcha. Okay, but the scaffolding is very rickety and I don't know if it's safe or not.
You can't necessarily tell if it was safe to climb on. You could definitely try. Which, by the way, that reminds me, I would love weight checks from everybody for today, just as a precaution.
Wait,
What do you want?
How much does each of your characters weigh?
Oh,
I don't know.
I think I actually wrote that down.
I think Zug weighs like 300 pounds.
Oh
My God.
I weigh 178 pounds.
170.
I think I'm a pretty like average old man. I think I'm like 160 pounds or something like that.
349 pounds.
39 for Zug.
You're like a linebacker.
Yeah, dude, I'm an orc with chainmail and a shield
That's fair.
and principles.
Oh, yeah.
And Sindra, how much do you weigh approximately?
I don't know. Where would I have written that down?
Would it be in your character description?
In description. Yeah.
Description.
If you wrote it down.
There I am. I wrote 170.
Mine says 170 as well.
Okay, so you're all 170. Okay, great.
In our hearts.
Sure. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
thank you. All right. And here's my next question. How close are you getting to the tower?
I mean, I would want to investigate around it. I'd probably give it like a, depending on how much space there is, like 10 to 20 feet.
10 to 20 feet radius
Yeah.
away from the tower.
I don't want to like set anything off or alert anyone to my presence just yet.
Mhm. Yeah, so that's all that you notice about the tower from your initial inspection.
Okay.
You do not see anyone or hear anything.
Could I do an acrobatics check and try to climb up the scaffolding to peek inside the gash?
Yes, you can definitely do that. So, so there are, so looking at the scaffolding, you see rotting wooden beams that are supporting the scaffolding.
Okay.
And you can hear, even with the slightest breeze, you can hear the groaning and creaking of the scaffolding. There are a series of ladders and platforms that lead to a hole in the northeast wall that is on the 3rd floor. That's slightly pierced down to the 2nd, but you're going to have to get up to the 3rd floor to be able to look inside. So you can most certainly do a check. So yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's do, you don't even really need to roll an acrobatics check because there's a ladder to get on the scaffolding. So you can kind of just choose to climb it.
Okay. I will do that.
Caution.
If I like slip and fall, can I do an acrobatics check to not do that?
Potentially.
Okay, cool. Great.
Okay. So as you climb the outside scaffolding of the tower, you can hear it and feel it actively bend with your every step. And you can tell and feel that any more weight than pretty much exactly what you are would not be supported by this scaffolding.
Cool. Okay.
But you are able to climb.
Okay.
So you get up to the 2nd floor and it starts to get even a little bit more rickety.
Okay.
And as you continue to walk, one of the planks completely collapses under the weight of your foot. And roll an acrobatics check so that your foot does not get caught and stuck and you fall.
17.
Ooh, 15 is the number to beat. Okay, so
Excellent.
you catch yourself right as your foot sort of falls through and the plank
Sweet.
falls beneath your feet and lands on the ground, creating quite a ruckus. Anyone who is nearby would now be alerted of your presence.
Uh-oh.
Great. Okay.
Does that
Hey, Mr.
change
Bird
what you
have
want
eyes
to
on
do?
me? What?
Does that change what you want to do, or would you like to proceed?
I mean, I already made the noise, so I would immediately be like, oh shit, and then I'd like to perceive everything.
Okay. So as far as you can tell, everything seems like it is, like no one is necessarily coming after you, not yet. So you continue to ride up the scaffolding up to the 2nd floor and then to the 3rd. So at this point, you're about 60 feet in the air. So you are pretty high up and the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. There is a gash in the wall and you are beginning to enter into the foggy area that becomes very difficult for anything to see. You can no longer see your companions. It is you and the fog.
I can't climb in from the 2nd floor, can I?
No. So the 2nd floor scaffolding is kind of where the bottom of the 2nd floor would be. You have to climb up to the 3rd floor. That's where the gash is. So the gash kind of goes between the 2nd and the 3rd, but if you wanted to actually peer in or climb in, you actually have to get up to the 3rd floor.
Okay.
Are you climbing scaffolding around the tower? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
The scaffolding is on the side of the tower.
Oh.
Okay. I am also going to have you roll a knowledge. What would this be? Arcana check.
Arcana.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you roll an Arcana check.
All right. 7.
Okay. So you can't necessarily sense or feel anything in particular, but there is something that feels, there's some effect that has sort of radiated around your body that feels dampening.
Okay.
Like wet? Or
Mildly moist.
like, are you getting rained on, Cinder?
It's just super foggy.
Okay.
Really foggy.
Aura of clothing dampening.
I hate that curse.
It either makes you naked or wet. Either way, you're in for a party.
Great.
That's why Ramis is always wearing a white t-shirt.
There you go.
He's always ready to
Prepared
party.
for any minute.
Slightly like subjugating.
Oh, that's not nearly as fun.
Yeah. All right. And Kane, can you tell me what the owl is actually up to right now?
So the owl, what I said I was doing with the owl was I wanted to keep it within pretty close proximity to Syndra so that I could also see if something was like sneaking up on her or anything like that. And then I could get the owl to like go down and like peck at her head or something like that to say hi. Warning
Okay.
danger, Will Robinson.
Okay. So it is near Syndra, but keeping like slight radius distance so that it can see what's going on.
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
not right on her butt, but I'm like maybe, 20, 30 feet away.
Okay.
From Ravat.
So as Syndra peers into the 3rd floor of the tower, you can see the inside, and time and elements have all but destroyed the chamber that you are looking at. There is what appears to be putrid smell emanating from the 3rd floor, and as you inspect, you can notice that there is some slimy black mildew on the walls. The floor in the 3rd chamber, the wooden floor in the 3rd chamber is totally rotted and has begun to fall away in pieces. And you see through the middle of the chamber and the tower that there is a big hole in the center of the floor that peers down into the center of the room. There's a big 5-foot square hole in the floor of the 3rd room. You also see that there is a big 5-foot hole in the ceiling of the 3rd room. And in the hole that is traversing from the top ceiling of the 3rd floor and the bottom floor of the 3rd floor, there are rusty chains near each corner. There are 4 rusty chains near each corner. And that is everything that you see. The room is otherwise empty.
The chains are just hanging.
There are 4 chains in the, so like I said, there's like a 5-foot kind of square in the bottom and it's rotting. And then there's a 5-foot square that goes up to the supposedly 4th floor. And there are 4 rusty chains in each corner.
But
Okay.
do we see the ends of them? Like,
No.
does that? Okay.
I think at this point, if I smell something rotting and I feel like some kind of a feeling of overwhelming moisture, I would go back to the group. I don't think I want to like investigate and potentially get into a fight without my party at also full health. Because I know we're all separated just a small smidgen. So I would go back, tell the guys what I saw, and then maybe
You're going to attempt to descend the rickety molding scaffolding.
Yeah, I am.
Sounds better than going inside.
Anybody can do it.
does.
It's you.
Okay.
Yes. So I would like to carefully descend the scaffolding.
And as you climb down the scaffolding, another plank breaks beneath your weight. And this time, you might be on higher alert since it's happened to you already, so the DC is lower, but you must still roll an acrobatics check to not fall 60 feet.
60 feet. Jesus.
21.
Okay. Lucky you.
60 feet. Weren't you looking at what you said, the third floor? These are
24.
20-foot high ceilings.
Vaulted ceilings are all the rage. I
Son
guess.
of a monkey. That's a lot of height.
It's a tower. Okay, so you are able to successfully descend with much care and caution and dexterity to the base floor. And as you move away from the tower, you feel that effect sort of fizzle away from you.
Okay, great.
I think Ramis is still grappling Zug, just holding him back from the tower.
I'm not fighting you. I'm standing still.
I'm still holding him back.
Zug is just trying to sit down, and Ramis is not.
I'm holding him up. Don't sit. Where did you sit down?
On the ground. You
Like-
told me to stop. I was already walking towards the tower.
Oh, you did stop. Okay, cool. Never mind.
Okay.
Ramis is watching with fear.
All right, so you get back to the group. No harm done to you.
No foul.
Great.
That may be bad
Except for
smells.
moistness.
Yeah.
Why do you look so damp?
You don't want to know.
Guess I'll find
And
out.
yeah, you reach your comrades.
Cool. Okay. I would tell them all what I saw, including when I got to that third story, there was this overwhelming feeling of damp and I smelled decay and it was pretty gross. So we
I'm
should
not
probably
really-
rest just in case there's anything creepy in there or if we have to investigate some rotting bodies or something.
I agree. Some sleep would do me good.
Ramis just will turn to the party and say, we have no reason to continue into the tower. I would suggest we don't explore any further.
It does sound rather dangerous.
Shall we set up camp here?
How far away?
Is there a wagon, you said?
By the tower.
How
There's a
far from the
wagon,
tower is it?
20 feet, if that.
I
Investigate the wagon.
may go take a look at this wagon, yes.
Hmm?
I'll come with you, Sindra.
Doug will go as well.
Okay, so you are all going to cross the marsh to go to the tower's base.
Ramis is doing a bunch of quick whirling turns, his cape flying into the air. He's like,
Werewolves. Ah.
Ramis, what's wrong with you? You seem a little bit more flourishing than usual.
Wolf has his tongue.
I have never seen Zug so close to death. I do not believe I could hold werewolves back as effectively if he were to fall.
I cough up blood.
This is my
agree.
point.
Perhaps Zug should take a rest here now, and, well, we just take a look at this wagon here.
No, I wish to look at the wagon too. Maybe it has some hay or food.
Very well.
I can make sure he has hold person ready to go in case he needs to restrain Zug.
Okay. So as you guys walk across the marsh, the damp, grassy plains under your feet squashes with every step, especially for Zug. Does that say Zugalicious? Zagolius.
Zagolius.
I like Zugalicious better. So as you approach the wagon, I would like an order.
I will go first. Zug will go first.
Me.
No, Zug will
maybe
not go
Zug
first.
goes
When
first.
Zug-
Kane and
I
Cinder
push-
decided to come over, and we
Yeah.
were at a normal gate. We were in-
I push
clutching the
Yeah.
side of your
who
body.
try to restrain me.
Kane cast hold person on Zug.
I want to do an acrobatical flip in front of Zug so that I can be the first to approach.
Zug will cough up blood.
I think despite all this, when Ramis sees Zug coughing up blood, he would try to tend to your wounds with a spell. So I'm gonna cast Healing Word onto Zug.
Do I need to roll anything?
Zug, you heal 5 hit points.
Hell yeah. Zug feels like a new orc. Half
5
orc.
hit points, rejuvenated.
Okay, and
much
so I've
better.
heard that Kane is casting hold person and that Syndra is doing an acrobatic flip.
I actually don't think I
hoping-
can cast hold
Zug.
person.
I'm hoping the healing on Zug is like distracting him slightly, I guess.
All right, Syndra, roll an acrobatics check for coolness.
Okay. Here we go.
For flippiness.
Critical fail. All right.
Oh,
So as Syndra attempts to do a super cool flip to get in the front of the group and in front of Zug, she slips on the marshy plains and instead lands on her face in the mud.
Nice.
Zug will step over her body.
Ew, 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 ew.
I'm gonna grab onto his boot and be drugged through the mud.
I'll drag her along.
That is a visual. It's like just limping along.
Don't do it. Don't go fast.
Are we at the tower?
So eventually you make it across the marshy land mass bridge to the wagon. And Syndra is no longer in front. So who is? Is Zug in front?
Yeah.
probably Kane. I don't know.
Probably me.
In front? Okay.
I'm right behind Kane.
Okay, so Kane is in front. Kane approaches the wagon, and you all presumably get close enough to read a sign. So under layers of mud, this wagon sports a fresh coat of purple paint, and its wheels have a fancy golden trim.
Mm.
There's a brass lantern hanging from each corner and red drapes covering a tombstone-shaped window on each side of the wagon. There's a steel padlock securing the back door, hanging from which is a cheap wooden sign that reads, "Keep out," with an exclamation point.
How many copper points is the sign actually worth?
I don't know. You would have to have it appraised.
Zug will point to the sign and ask the group what it says.
It says no Zug. It says no Zugs allowed.
What the hell's a Zugs? I'll try to rattle. I want to walk up to the wagon doors and rattle them.
No. Why would you do that?
I want to see what's inside.
I
duh.
will legitimately cast Earthen Grasp on you if you do that.
So Zug is walking up to the passenger or driver's side door.
I thought these were in the back of the cart.
There is also a back door. You want to go to the back door?
Yeah, I thought that was where the sign was.
Yes, the sign is on the back door. So there's a back door with a steel padlock. And then there are just normal side doors to the wagon.
Okay, that's where I'm walking up to.
I think Ramis would like to physically grapple with Zug. Not like not excited about it.
How about this? How about this, party members? I'll stand by and you do what you need to do, and I'll be ready for whatever jumps out. That fine?
Are you stopping?
Yeah, I'll stop.
Can you read the description of the wagon again, Danny?
Yes. Under layers of mud, this wagon sports a fresh coat of purple paint. Its
Okay,
wheels have a
that's what I thought.
fancy gold trim. A brass lantern hangs from each corner. Red drapes cover a tombstone-shaped window on each side. A steel padlock secures the back door, hanging from which is a cheap wooden sign that reads, "Keep out."
Does it look anything like the wagons that belong to the Vistani?
Definitely. Similar.
We found some good shit.
It's not barrel topped like
Have one
those
of
ones.
those.
It's
We
not.
found-
It's
we
not
found some
barrel
okay
topped like
shit.
the Vistani wagons. It's not barrel topped.
Okay. Do I? I guess I have to cast a spell for that. Hold on a second. Let me see.
I might have a neat thing I can do, but
I'm
I want
gonna
to make
start
sure.
casting detect magic as a ritual.
Okay. So, as you scrutinize the wagon with detect magic, you notice that the wagon radiates an aura of conjuration magic.
Conjuration magic. I am being a poor wizard. I have to look that up. I have to look that up real quick. That's like attack shit, isn't it?
It's like, what?
It's like attacking magic. It's like elemental, right?
No.
Wasn't that summoning? Isn't conjuration like summoning stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, conjuration is like summoning.
Like summoning food.
What's fireball?
It's definitely sandwiches.
So
Cucumber
the
sandwich.
wagon radiates conjuration magic.
Is that all I get from this? Do I see where
Detect
that's
magic,
coming
yeah.
from?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, it'll take a little bit more time, and I'll cast identify as a ritual as well.
Mhm. So casting the identify spell on the wagon teaches you that there is a command word to operate this wagon, and that
Operate it.
Mhm.
Okay.
and that if you sit in the driver's seat in front of the wagon and speak the command word, you will operate this wagon.
I'm going to
Yay.
ensure that Zug never learns what this word is.
Kane and only Kane learns the word drovash.
Ooh.
Sick.
So I have a question for you guys. I have a fancy version of Mage Hand, and I can use my thieves' tools to pick locks or disarm traps at range. Do you guys want me to try to unlock the padlock
Yes.
from far away?
Yes.
Wait, it's
Evan?
covered in conjuration magic, right? So
Yeah.
there's something about this that's special.
Mhm.
I should be doing this in character.
Perhaps, Sidra, we may yet pick this lock, but I would like to ensure that there are no sneaky mechanisms of a magical variety or otherwise that may be dangerous to us in doing so.
I want to search the wagon.
Why are we so enamored by this wagon?
I don't
Because
know.
it's purple.
It's a wagon.
It's got
said don't
new
go inside.
paint on it, Ramis. When was the last time we saw
Says keep
anything
out.
but
Purple.
new?
Our friend
Oh,
Gandalf has new paint. Have him paint you a wagon, King. We do not need this one.
what would you like to do, Ramis? Would you like to go take Zug to the other side of the bridge and have a nap with him?
I would
Perhaps
like
that would
to
be
take
more
Zug
helpful.
back to the lackey so he may rest and recover.
I found a magical wagon. I'm going to check it out.
Adventure restores youth to your timber, King.
You know not how much youth I have in me.
Gives you a little
Oh,
bit.
it is trace amounts at best. Fine. Ramis will upset with his party's curiosity, step away and give them their space to explore, but he will have no problem.
I want to check this thing out, figure out what's going on. Because I feel like if it's covered in magic and it's got something that says keep out, trying to pick the lock is a shaky idea at best.
I agree.
Sindra, would you like to help me search the wagon? Perhaps we can discern if it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
We're gonna check it
Okay.
out.
Okay, so
But not touch anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not touch.
checking out the wagon, not touching anything. So where are you guys checking out? What are you looking at? It's a wagon. I've described it to you. It has windows. It has a
Mhm.
back door with a handle. It
How
has a
big did you say
driver's
it
seat
was?
front.
It's like max 20 feet long, right?
Oh, it's not 20 feet long. It's like 10.
We're gonna examine every
10 feet.
square frickin' inch of this thing.
On the outside.
All over.
Um,
Walls, doors, sides, underside, top side. There was a trap door at the top of the, what was it? What was his name? Brictavio's wagon, where the tiger jumped out of or something like that.
So you guys are going to inspect the sides. Okay, so upon, I'm actually going to have both of you roll a perception check.
Do that. 23.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh,
With
23.
wow.
Yay!
Okay.
Twinsies.
So with each of you rolling a 23,
I'm gonna look at Ramis and roll my eyes.
Kane peering in through the window of the wagon notices give me one sec. Just going to get the description right here.
Okay.
Notices a faint gleam shimmering off a wire that is attached
Shit's
to
a
the
trap.
inside handle
Tripwire.
of the door.
Tripwire.
Well, Zug, it would appear I may have just saved your wretched life.
Zug
calls
will
back
awake
at him.
from his cat nap and go, what? What?
Hmm.
Huh?
Um,
Can I see what
And-
the wire is connected to?
you cannot.
Mhm.
You just see the gleaming of the wire and you barely see it.
Okay.
And Sindra, upon shimmying under the wagon,
Oh, getting muddy, huh? I like it.
Getting in there.
I'm already covered in
You're
already
mud.
gonna
covered in
drag.
mud, yeah.
She's already dead.
notices a hidden trap door in the underbelly.
Sindra, it appears as though this door is booby-trapped. Have you found anything?
Found a trapdoor underneath.
You
Could be
don't
Can I
say.
open one? Can I pick one?
Can I see
from distance?
anything inside this wagon about a trap door in it?
No.
Okay.
The curtains are covering almost everything, and you can barely even see what's inside the wagon, besides that faint sunny glimmer
Hmm.
off that wire.
If the door is booby-trapped from the inside, someone must have exited from another opening.
Like the
Uh,
trapdoor underneath.
Sindra, it's quite possible, but perhaps you would want to examine that trapdoor first. But it's quite possible that this is a safe way in.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna shimmy down there too and like get an eye on it and see. I don't see anything like magically dangerous about the trap door.
No, you
shoulder
sense
to
the
shoulder
same-
underneath it, looking up at the trapdoor.
Yeah, we're just shoulder to shoulder in the mud. One old man, one roguey woman, just checking out a trapdoor.
So
How's the oil on the cart?
I don't know what you're
Page?
talking about.
y'all done? Yeah, okay.
You're not gonna let us joke?
Yeah,
Jeez.
you criticized us for not having enough intra-party RP last time. So.
Shut up, I prepped.
This is my show now.
All right. Okay. So upon inspection of the trapdoor, you notice the same aura of conjuration magic that radiates from the wagon, but nothing different.
Mhm.
It's the same magic that I detected earlier, but I couldn't see anything from the inside trapping this door, and I can't imagine that there was any other way out.
Mhm.
And what are Zug and Ramis doing?
Ramis is just scanning around the tower because he's worried about his party.
I'm sitting on the ground watching these two tinker.
Ramis, roll a perception check.
Oh god. My perception isn't great, y'all. $20.
That's super good. Ramis senses a presence in the woods, but cannot discern what.
It's the fucking werewolves.
But you hear a rustling sound that sounds like something on the ground.
In the sorry, where are the woods compared to where I am and where they are under the cart?
So you are separated right now from the woods on the peninsula. So the woods are sort of around you, but around the lake. Yeah. So see, so you guys are like here. You're in the middle. So the woods are like here.
How far away is that?
Probably like 100 feet.
Oh. Okay. I think Ramis will just lean over to Zug and just say, keep your eyes on them, and like walk towards like the beach, towards what he notices in the forest. Like wherever in the woods. Is it these woods or these woods or?
You hear the sound coming from maybe somewhere in this direction.
Yeah, so he would walk to that beach to try and.
I'm gonna ask Ramis if he saw something. Did you see something? Hear something? Smell? Trouble?
Maybe.
You heard. You didn't see.
I will stand up and unsheath my weapons and just patrol around the cart and keep my eyes open and nose.
All right. So you guys patrol around.
Ramis will also like yell at, maybe not yell, but like in a voice that will carry to Kane and Syndra and say, "Have you all finished? Can we move along, please, quickly?"
Okay. So as the others fiddle around underneath the wagon, you head out back towards the mainland to kind of inspect the sound that you heard.
Not the mainland. No, I want to be near them.
Oh, so you're just gonna like go out and like
I'm just
look
trying to
across
peer.
the
I'm just
water
trying to see,
and
like yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I thought you were like gonna come here and go there.
No, I'm not separating from the group.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Okay. And you are peering out, but you don't see anything to confirm the noise that you heard. Okay. How about you two under the wagon?
We're gonna try to open this door.
You're gonna open the door.
Are we gonna open it? Okay, wait. Really quick. You learned that fancy magic word to drive the cart, correct? Could we all like hop onto the roof and try to like ride the cart to safety away from this foreboding presence?
My understanding of what I learned of the cart is, sure, I don't see why not.
Do you guys want to try that? Do we want to leave? Do we want to try to leave?
You guys are gonna steal this cart?
Well, I don't know. I'm neutral and I'm trying to get better at that. So I don't really give a crap whose cart it is.
I love that.
I'm chaotic good. We need to return this cart to whoever got it stuck.
Borrowed it. What if we borrowed it and then brought it back once we were done? And if you're good, why are you trying to break into this dude's cart?
We're not breaking into anything, Sindra. We're returning the cart to someone. I'm chaotic good. Okay.
Okay. So we could take it and then bring it back.
We could take it back to Velakis, see if someone had been attacked and needed to run in a very short order.
We could put up those like found cat posters. We found your purple cart, fresh paint, magic locks on the back.
Indeed, yes.
Okay. I mean, do we want to try to ride this cart out? Ramis, Doug?
Yeah, sure. I love cart rides.
Okay.
Yeah, fucking
Sid-
party.
You want to do it?
Sindra, perhaps,
Yeah.
given that we know the door is booby-trapped, perhaps we can disable that before we try to take the cart down the bumpy main road.
Okay. I think we should all step back and I should use my fancy mage hand to try to disarm it from a distance.
Sure, let's do that.
Okay.
I get behind
So
my shield.
you are going to attempt to disarm the trap that you perceive exists, but don't have any confirmation of.
No, we're trying to open the trap door so that we can
Open the
see-
trap
Yes.
door. Open the
Yes.
underside door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So tell me how you go about doing this.
I would close my eyes and wish really hard. I
Mhm.
haven't used Mage Hand before. So, I mean, I would just like look at it, right? From a distance and just be like,
Do your thing, Luck.
So if you are getting away, so like how far of a distance are you putting between yourself and the wagon at this point?
let's say 10 feet.
Ah.
I think I have a range of 30 with it. But let's say 10 feet.
Okay. And you won't be able to see the trapdoor when you are doing this. So you're just gonna cast Mage Hand and try to fiddle around until you find a way in. The way in.
Is that how it would?
Wait, what does the
work?
trap door look like from the outside? Is there a lock
So-
on it? Like, what are we even doing?
There is no lock on the trapdoor that you can see. There's a small handle that pulls it open.
Looks like Kane's just gonna open it.
You're gonna attempt to do that
Yeah, I'm
under
down
the
there.
wagon.
Yeah, I mean, if you blow me up now or something, then fine.
I'll hang
To be
back.
clear, it's not her, it's the wagon.
God.
There's conjuration magic, which is summoning magic, which should be it should be pretty safe.
Isn't a fireball conjuration magic?
Well, that's what I was asking earlier. You guys said it's not attack magic.
Well, but that is
I
that you're summoning an elemental force.
I don't know.
So the conjuration magic with identify, Kane has learned.
Oh, so that was the conjuration. So you're summoning.
That is what he has learned. He has learned that there is a command to operate the wagon, aka summon a way to make the wagon go.
Okay.
Which you can. If he wants to utter the magical word while in the driver's seat, he can try that and do that.
I'm
Why
gonna
don't
open
you-
I'm going to open the trapdoor. Real simple. It's got a handle. The main door was definitely booby trapped. I could see that. I don't know how else you're going to get out of it. All the windows are just normal windows. They don't open. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So Kane pulls the trapdoor open, and it opens.
Okay. No fireball hits me or anything?
Nope.
What do I see?
Great.
I'm like poke my head up inside. What's going on in here?
So poking your head up inside the wagon, you see a lot of things. You see a giant array of things.
Oh.
Ooh.
There's a bunch of stuff in this wagon. The interior of the wagon has the first thing that you notice that is really obvious is a large wooden trunk covered with claw marks and blood.
Oh.
Oh.
You also see a wardrobe. Your eye floats over to a golden lyre.
Ooh. Yes,
Is
please.
that an instrument?
Mhm.
Yes.
It's like a harp, right? A small harp.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's not a golden lyre. It's a lyre and it has golden strings.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Maybe less cool. Maybe less cool.
Probably less valuable.
Mm.
You see various pots and pans. You see various boxes. You see some chests. You also see a big dirty shovel.
Big dirty shovel and a bloody chest with claw marks on it.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like some burying some body bullshit right there.
Yep. Yep.
And hanging from the top of the wagon, there's actually a sculpted wooden cage holding a chicken,
Oh.
Is
Is
the
it
chicken
alive?
alive?
a live chicken.
Okay, so yeah, this thing is obviously belongs to somebody, and they've been here recently. What do I see of the trap that I saw from the outside?
So upon inspecting the back door, you can see that the inside handle of the door has a wire looped around it. And at this point, are you climbing into the wagon or are you like just still
I'm
observing?
going as far as I need to see what the
You
trap.
have to get in at this point if you want to see what's going on with that.
Okay, well,
back
let me
handle.
get in so that I'm being very careful not to trigger anything as I get in.
Yeah, so Kane sees that the wire is actually connected to a flask that is hanging from the wagon ceiling.
A flask? Do I recognize? Is it like a potion or something?
If you get close enough to inspect the flask, you can tell, give me a Arcana check.
Okay. Oh, that's not very good. 9.
You need a 12. It is a flask of liquid.
Well, I'm pretty smart, as Kane's stats would say. So I'm going to guess if it's tied to a string that's looped around the handle of the door, that it's probably spicy.
And as Kane traces that thought and notices the flask, you are able to surmise that should the door be opened, that the flask would fall. And looking down at the position as to where the flask would fall, you notice dangling from wires like ornaments along the wagon's interior walls, there are 100 or so more flasks just like it.
Sandra, I need a hand here.
All right, I would climb into the cart super carefully and go investigate the or go just see what Kane is talking about. And
Sandra,
should I disarm
my
them?
hands aren't what they used to be. I suspect you may be better at this than I am. You see that flask dangling from that wire there?
Boy, do I.
I'm not sure what it is, but I can't imagine that it would be good should it fall from where it is. Perhaps you could safely remove it from its perch.
Yeah, let me take a go. So for this, there isn't like a disarm traps thing I could do, right? Like, would I
Dexterity
do
check.
Dex? Okay.
Wait, hold on. Before you roll,
Mhm.
you are choosing to attempt to disable this trap with a dexterity check.
I'm not sure what check I would do to
So
disable.
you're choosing to attempt to disable this trap. You were trying to do that.
Yes,
I would like to
I would-
assist and like put my hands under the flask so that even if she fails, it will be in my hands and not fall.
Roll dex.
20.
20, you are able to successfully disable the trap.
Nice.
Nice.
Danny, you look disappointed that it didn't explode.
Yeah.
If you had failed that dex check, both of your characters would have died right now.
Oh, okay.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I suspect that is some kind of explosive potion or something.
Like there's no, like even if you had rolled the saving throw, you would have died.
But my hands were right underneath it. Would you have really just been like, she fails, it also explodes in Kane's hands?
I think she would teach us a lesson.
I am by the book here. Okay. So you've disabled the trap, supposedly, as far as you could tell.
Okay.
And you are both now inside of the wagon. That does not belong to you.
So do we have the potion? What is it? Do I just have a potion?
You have a flask.
I'm going to take time to identify that.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So upon sort of inspection and identification over some time, this is a flask of alchemist's fire.
Ooh,
Okay.
Ooh.
Spicy.
that'll fuck you up.
That's spicy. Apparently there are many of these in here.
There are.
So if we disarmed that trap, do we now have all of those potions then?
We're going to pop open the door and be like, we did it. Well, Syndra mostly did it. I watched.
All right. So you are opening, I'm presuming, well, you can't actually open the back door because even though you disabled the trap from inside, there is still a padlock on the outside.
Okay.
We didn't quite do it.
So
Okay, we'll
do
stick
you want to
around.
inform them out from under the booby trap?
We did it, everyone.
Also, I'm going to clamber out from underneath the wagon.
Yeah.
Brush myself off a little bit and be like,
Look, it's a
Ah.
wagon.
everyone, come around. We'd like to show you something.
Have I lost sight or sound of anything in the woods?
You have not heard the sound a second time, and you have not seen anything.
Kane is going to say quite loudly as though to project into the forest around them.
Perhaps we must return this cart to whoever may have left it here.
And I'm going to hop in the driver's seat and I'm going to say, oh God, did I write it down? What was the word you told me?
Drovash.
Vodka.
Rovash.
So Kane, you are hopping in the driver's seat, uttering Drovash.
Rovash.
What are the rest of the party? So Sindra is still inside the wagon
Get the other guys in the wagon.
with the trapdoor just hanging open on the bottom. And what are you other two doing?
I'm still standing like 20 feet away with my shield raised because I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking into the woods across the water.
Is anyone gonna like interact with this?
Like
Grand Theft Auto?
Kane. Whoa, this is fucking abandoned in front of a creepy tower. I'm not worried about it. I guess like Ramis will turn when Kane starts yelling and kind of like
Oh my gosh.
watch the spectacle of whatever is about to unfold.
Is there any handles or anything, any controls, or am I just sitting in a chair saying Drovash?
So as soon as you hop into that driver's seat and you utter the word
It's
Drovash,
kind of like teleport or something.
Boom! We're good.
a pair of quasi-real midnight black draft horses
Oh, that's cool.
magically
Ooh.
appear tethered to the wagon.
Quasi-real.
Neat.
What percentage of real are they?
That means they're just in your head, Kane.
Exactly.
Kane's like, yeah! And the car's just there.
Are they at least 50% or more real?
They are quasi-real.
Are there any reins or anything?
That sounds like 49%.
There are reins magically tethered to the wagon.
Okay.
Oh shit. And so Ramis can see this happening.
Yes, you can.
Ramis will like falter slightly backwards.
Well, I can't say I was expecting that, but that is quite something, isn't it, everyone?
Do
I'll slowly
whose
approach
carriage
the
is this?
cart.
Yeah, did we see anything that would have identified whoever the owner of this was? Inside?
Not unless you inspected all the rest of the materials in the wagon, which you're free to do should you decide to do that. It will
I
take
will
time.
do that.
There you go.
I would like to investigate the contents of the cart to see if I can figure out who owns it and where it came from.
All right, so I'll sort of tell you what you find.
Okay.
Well, so I'm going to tell you what you see, and then you can tell me what you want to investigate.
Okay.
So there's the wooden trunk with claw marks and blood. It's closed.
Mhm.
There's a narrow wardrobe, which is closed. You can open it. You, upon inspection of other areas of the wagon, you find some kits, some different kits that you recognize. You recognize a poisoner's kit, a disguise kit, a climber's kit, and also some healing tools.
Mad kits.
There's the lyre with the golden strings.
Mhm.
There's the wooden cage with the chicken. And it has a silver, or actually it has 5 chicken eggs in it upon closer inspection.
Fancy.
There's a teeny tiny wooden box that looks decoratively carved. You find some copper pots and pans. There are disturbingly 3 sets of manacles.
Okay.
Dirty shovel.
Like
Mhm.
humanoid sized manacles, or are they larger or smaller?
Medium. Medium sized.
Like for people.
People sized.
Okay.
Yeah. A wooden chest. Another wooden chest that's not as grotesque. You also notice some papers that are sitting atop a shelf in the wagon, some various papers.
I think I want to start with those loose papers and then maybe check the wooden chest. Not the one that's covered in like claws and blood and stuff, but
The smaller one.
yes.
The decorative one.
Not
Well,
the decorative one, the other
there's
one.
3 chests. There's a tiny one that's decoratively carved. There's a more medium-sized one that's just a regular-looking wooden chest. And then there's a large-sized one that's covered in claw marks and blood.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the loose papers and then the medium chest.
Okay, so Sindra, upon looking through some of the loose papers, finds a couple of spell scrolls.
Okay.
You find a spell scroll of Major Image and a spell scroll of Remove Curse.
Okay, that's cool.
That would have helped with the werewolves.
You also find an entire map of Barovia.
What? Totally worth it.
Way to go.
If Kane was next to Syndra, there would be a high five happening.
Yeah, there would.
Which I will send you all. And you also find a charred page that looks like a journal entry.
And what can I read on that page?
Would you like to read it?
I would love to read it.
Okay.
You just stole Rictavio's shit.
It's actually quite a large entry.
Oh.
Does it have a
Yeah.
name on it?
I'm going to send it to you.
Sweet.
Actually, I'll read it.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the whole thing. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a charred page written, handwritten in a cursive type font.
Mhm.
And if you look, you don't see any name. There's no like signing of it. It looks like an entry out of a journal or something like that.
Okay.
So it reads, "For more than 3 decades now, I have undertaken to investigate and expose creatures of darkness to the purifying light of truth and knowledge. Hero, I am named in some circles. Sage and master hunter, I am called in others. That I have survived countless supernatural assaults is seen as a marvel among my peers. My name is spoken with fear and loathing among my foes. In truth, this virtuous calling began as an obsessive effort to destroy a vampire that murdered my child. And it has become for me a tedious and bleak career. Even as my life of hunting monsters began, I felt the weight of time on my weary shoulders. Today, I am a man who has simply lived too long. Like a regretful lich, I find myself inexorably bound to an existence I sought out of madness and, seemingly, must now endure for all eternity. Of course I shall die, but whether I shall ever rest in my grave haunts my idle thoughts and torments me in my dreams. I expect that those who think me a hero will change their minds when they know the whole truth about my life as a hunter of the unnatural. Nevertheless, I must reveal here and now that I have been the indirect yet certain cause of many deaths and the loss of many good friends. Mistake me not, I do not merely feel sorry for myself. Rather, I come to grips with the devastating realization. I now see that I am the object of a baleful Vistani curse. More tragically, the nature of this hex is such that I have not borne the brunt of it. Instead, far worse, those who surround me have fallen victim to it. I have related the tragic story of how my only child, Erasmus, was taken by Vistani and sold to a vampire. I explained how Erasmus was made a minion of the Night Stalker and how it was my miserable part to free him from that fate at the point of a stake. What I have neglected to illuminate before is how I tracked Erasmus's kidnappers across the land, or how I extracted Erasmus's whereabouts from them. In fact, the Vistani took Erasmus with my own unwitting permission. They had brought an extremely ill member of their tribe to me one evening and insisted that I treat him, but I was unable to save the young man's life. In fear of their retribution, I begged the Vistani to take anything of mine if only they would withhold their terrifying powers, of which I knew nothing. To my lasting astonishment, they chose to surreptitiously take my son in exchange for their loss. By the time I realized what had already occurred, they were an hour gone. Incensed beyond reason, I strapped the body of the dead young man to my horse and doggedly followed the Vistani caravan through the woods, naively allowing the sun to set before me without seeking shelter from the night. Shortly after darkness fell, I was beset by undead that would have slain me had not their master, a lich, intervened and spared my life for reasons that I do not completely understand. He somehow detected me and, with his powerful magic, took control of the pack of zombies that wandered in the forest. He spoke to me through the mouths of the dead things and placed a magic ward against undead on me, then animated the dead Vistana and bade it tell me where I could find its people. Unfortunately, I say in hindsight, the plan worked. I found the child stealers, and my unwelcome entourage included a growing horde of voracious undead that could not touch me thanks to the Lich's ward. When I found the caravan, I threatened to set the zombies on the Vistani unless they returned my dear boy. They replied that he had been sold to the vampire, Baron Metis. Something inside me snapped. I released the zombies, and the entire tribe was eaten alive. Yet the story has not ended. Before she died, their leader cursed me, saying, "Live you always among monsters, and see everyone you love die beneath their claws." Even now, so many years later, I can hear her words with painful clarity. A short time later, I found my dear Erasmus made into a vampire. He begged me to end his curse, which I did with a heavy heart. The darkness had torn him from my loving arms forever, and I foolishly believed that the curse had exacted its deadly toll. I wept until an insatiate desire for vengeance filled the bottomless rift in my heart.
Hey, all right.
Heavy shit.
That shit's yeah, goddamn heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So you've heard the story written out on this parchment of a man who is a hunter, who had his son stolen by Vistani, and he had to murder his own vampire spawn son and seeks vengeance.
That'll
It's
be
not good.
handy. Yeah, we got a lot of names, so we can probably ask around town and see if anybody knows who he is, and actually return this card to him. So that'll be nice.
Did we get any names?
We got his son's name and the name of the vampire,
Okay.
and the Vistani. So if we're like, hey, the Vistani stole his son Erasmus, he was turned into a vampire by Baron Metis. Does that ring a bell with anybody? And they might be like, oh yeah, it's this guy.
Wait, do we want to find, like, what if he left his card there on purpose?
What happens if he's in the tower?
Yeah, exactly. And like he kills us because he sounds powerful.
It's true.
Yeah. Well.
Also, I just want to point out that Sindra has been reading this in the cart alone.
Yeah.
That wasn't Ramis, that was Syndra's devil on her shoulder.
I would also, I'd be irked for sure by what I read. I would still want to look at the medium-sized chest to see if I can figure out who this is. Like, he could have ripped this out of somebody else's journal. I don't really know. I don't know if this is like
I will
his.
also point out that the page that you found, this journal entry that you found, has been charred. So
Yeah.
there's like burned edges on it.
Okay.
Okay, so you are going to check the wooden chest. And as you open the chest, you find a golden holy symbol.
Okay.
You also find 3 vials of water, 3 vials of what appear to be perfume, and a couple more vials that you cannot identify. Along with that, there is a 50 or so foot coil of hempen rope, a tinderbox, a mirror, a sharpened wooden stake, and a spyglass.
So a vampire killing kit. But there isn't any like identifiable information in it, right? Just what looks like a kit of stuff. Can I take a quick look in the wardrobe, and then I think I'd probably yell out to Kane or Ramis just to come and be like, yo, check out this page. It's pretty freaky, but I can't find you.
Yeah. So upon opening the wardrobe, you find 3 sets of fine clothes,
Okay.
2 sets of traveler's clothes. There are several pairs of shoes. There's a harlequin mask and 3 wigs.
Okay. All right. If I look at the clothes, are there like any initials embroidered on the inside or anything?
No, they look really nice, and they also appear to be women's clothes.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think at this point I would exit and be like, hey guys, I found this freaky burnt page. Check it out. Read this right now. I don't know if this is the owner of the cart or what, but they have seen some shit.
Are you guys going to gather around to read the page?
Well, I'm just gonna listen.
Listen.
I'll hand it over to Kane or Ramis, and then I would like to kind of check out the woods, see if I can perceive anything, because I'm a little freaked out by that note.
So as you hand off the note to Kane, you hear a voice, the whole party, all of you. You hear a voice from the mainland, and a figure emerges from the woods. And the voice yells, I can do this.
Yeah,
You guys ready?
Oh my God. Yes.
And the voice yells, halt! Don't move another digit.
Kane's
And-
digits freeze.
And you all turn to witness a tall, raven-haired woman dressed in a colorful coat. And from a distance, you can see she is wielding a rapier in one hand and an axe in the other.
Ooh.
And she
Shit.
begins to walk towards you. And she is now walking towards you on the island, and you have no escape.
I think Ramis will yell, "No, my friend, you halt. I've been tracking your movements for quite some time. And if you would like to keep your wagon intact, I suggest you stop where you are."
She continues.
Okay, I'm going to pull up my crossbow and just start aiming it at her.
I'm gonna pull out the flask of spicy boys.
I'm going to mumble backwards. Kane, what have you got listened to?
And she begins to continue to make her way towards you, walking steadily. And as she continues to walk towards you, you
She has
notice
weapons drawn?
her weapons are near her; they're not drawn.
Okay.
Mhm.
She's carrying a rapier and a hand axe,
But
but
like
she's
it's
not.
in,
She's holding the weapons, like down by her side as she walks towards you.
like, would we not be like unleashing hell on this person?
Did we? Yeah. Did Kane get to hear the contents of that letter? Because I know
Like,
you
I
read
don't,
it out.
I don't know that Ramis and Kane know. We're just being assailed by someone. with
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah, Sindra is the only one who read the weapon. Read
Mhm.
the parchment.
Yep.
This is a woman, right?
It is a woman.
But the journal entry was written by a man.
Yeah, but I don't know that.
No,
know
you
that.
Mm-mm. But I also don't know if the owner of the wagon is also the person who wrote the journal entry.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't know.
So she continues to draw closer to you, and you can see that she appears fresh from a fight.
She looked.
But despite her apparent wounds, you feel her warrior's spirit puncture you with her eyes.
We mean no harm. You don't look so good. Perhaps a conversation may end better than a fight.
She laughs out loud. Ha! She says, "Who are you? And why have you come here?" She continues walking at you.
I mean, my charisma is not that high.
I mean, like I'm just trying to I feel like Ramis would be casting Shatter on her, but like I guess like metagaming.
She's not running at
I'm not
you.
supposed to. Okay.
She's walking towards you and
With two
asking,
She's not a
weapons.
werewolf.
asking you
dude.
questions. She can speak clearly. She is very upset with what you are doing right now.
I think
Reading a paper?
Invading her
I
wagon.
mean, I summoned some
Oh, we don't know.
empty
It's her
horses,
wagon.
I guess.
no.
I'm gonna find out pretty soon.
Yeah, I guess Ramis will say, "We are looking for a friend, Rictavio. Do you know him?"
And she gets close enough to where you can see her face. And she has brown eyes. A colorful bandana adorns her curly hair. And you all notice that her right leg from the knee down is replaced by a pretty good looking wooden prosthetic.
Neat.
She's just
She-
ignoring me.
I'm describing things.
Okay. I was just curious.
Let me describe things before I respond to you. I will respond. She looks at the party and she scans each of you for a moment. She looks at Ramis. She narrows her eyes as she looks at Zug. She turns towards Kane. And then her gaze stops as she catches Sindra. And Sindra and the woman both catch in each other's eyes a look of haunting.
Love.
Ooh, we're gonna be besties.
They both sense it.
Oh wait, there's a thing with you and being haunted, isn't there?
Hmm?
Sindra's a haunted one. And this woman is also haunted.
My God, haunted twinsies.
And she says, she looks back to Ramis after holding Sindra's gaze for a couple of moments. And she says, what did you say that name was?
Rictavio.
She says, what does this man Rictavio look like?
So you don't know him?
She says, you did not answer my question.
Nor you mine.
I am trying to answer your question.
Okay. He carries on confidently, not unlike yourself, ignores many requests, and plays instruments. Know anyone like that?
He's pretty handsome too.
And she says, is he an older gentleman?
I don't know.
He's experienced.
His most defining feature is he has a large animal he travels with.
And upon hearing this information, the woman tilts her head back and sighs. Of course he is in disguise. And she says, the man you are looking for is also the man I am looking for. He was my mentor, my teacher, and the man that you know as Rictavio is Dr. Rudolph Wren Richen. She puts her hand on her hip and she cocks her head at you, with a knowingness of you've been deceived.
Say that name 4 times fast. I dare you.
And she says, so,
No, she doesn't. Okay.
are you friends or enemies of Strahd?
Strahd is quite the devious individual. He appears to have trapped us and everyone here.
That does not answer my question.
How
Very
many devious,
broad.
trapping individuals are you friends with?
Definitely not a Strahd.
That it would seem we have something in common.
She says, why are you looking for Rudolph? How do you know this man?
You want to take it, Ramis? You've been chill most of this time.
Do you mind?
Why are we looking for him?
Come closer.
God.
I know, you have to stop lounging for 2 fucking seconds.
Can I just have my camera on? We helped him escape from Vallaki. You will be happy to know.
Why did he need to escape?
Ever heard of the Festival of the Sun?
No, but I know that Vallaki has plenty of festivals.
Well, he fucked up during one of the festivals. The entire town was looking for him.
That sounds about right. Okay, so you are friends of Rudolph.
We haven't done anything to make him feel otherwise, as far as I know.
What do you know of Dr. Van Richen?
Everything. Deception. I'm rolling deception.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was an 18. I got a 9.
And she sees right the fuck through that. She says, Would any of the other of you like to answer that question?
Well, up until now, I'd say we didn't know much about Van Richten as we thought. He did seem quite the lively individual. I didn't dislike him, although he did seem to carry with him a bit of dangerous company, shall we say.
Yes, he is quite the dangerous man. And she points to the charred journal entry that you are holding. And she says, that is from his journal.
What?
I'm gonna say Kane's been like eyeballing this thing here and there, just so his vague understanding of what it says.
'Tis quite a sad tale, this.
Yes.
What do you know of him?
She says, come. Have you learned the trick to getting inside yet?
Well, we didn't die and we've been inside, so you tell me.
She's not talking about the wagon. She's talking about the tower.
Oh.
Gesturing towards the tower.
We haven't even, well, Sindra took a look, nearly fell from the top, but we have not gotten inside, no.
I didn't nearly fall.
Have you tried the door?
What?
No.
I have not looked at the door, no.
That was the next thing I was going to do, I swear.
You scaled the tower, but you didn't look for a door? Is that what happened?
There is a front door that is really obvious. She just went straight to the side of the tower to the scaffolding.
I got excited when you said scaffolding.
So she walks right through the lot of you up to the front door of the tower.
I guess we'll follow her.
Okay, so you follow her to the door, and upon the front door, I'm actually going to send you guys in Discord a link right now.
Sick.
Cool.
So if you were to open that up or just look at it in Discord, this is the front door to the tower. This is what it looks like. You might want to zoom in on it because there's some things on it.
Creepy clock rune.
Yeah, I probably would have seen that and gone for the scaffolding anyways. So
Yeah.
Doesn't look like my forte. That's not a lock.
So she walks up to the door and she says, the door is magically locked and trapped. The symbol is the key to disabling the trap, though. And she says, also, if you went up the scaffolding, you may have noticed that there is a neutralizing spell around the tower. And she she's talking to Sindra.
I did feel uncomfortably moist when I was up there, yes.
Okay, so as you guys get closer to the tower, she's gonna walk within like 2 feet of the front door. Are you guys gonna come like behind her, follow her in to like get her closer?
To
with
know
the
what she's
door?
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So as you guys follow her closer into the door, you suddenly see, upon entering 5 feet of the tower, as you all walk there, Kane's summoned owl, upon entering into 5 feet of the tower, erupts into a small splash of magical energy, like a small firework.
Oh,
Is he dead?
Why didn't she fucking warn your owl, Kane?
I mean, it's a summon familiar. You can summon it back, I presume.
Yeah, but damn.
And she, upon noticing it with the rest of you, she says, anti-magic. None of your spells will work here. And she walks up to the door and she shows you the symbol and she says, I am curious. She says, I would like to see you solve the puzzle.
could take a look, perhaps.
Zug will walk up to the door. And can I guess I don't need to inspect it.
You see it.
I see it. The runes around I guess that's like a copper plate. They look like little stick figure men, right?
They do look like little stick figure people.
And the only
We're gonna do a
thing,
dance.
yeah, different about them is the what
What
represents the arm. So I'm going to start with the one on the top left. What would be what? I don't know, 10, 11 o'clock? Right.
11 o'clock is top left.
Yeah. So following that first symbol and
Oh
then
no, you're
tracing-
going. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I am going to dance in front of this door.
I expect you to actually do it.
Okay. Yeah.
So Zug's walking up to this door.
Stand firmly at the door.
Plants
I'm
his
gonna go.
feet. And Zug goes, and then Zug, wait, slow down, slow
He's
down,
got it,
slow
he's got
down,
it, he's got it.
slow down,
He's
Zug.
nailing it.
Zug goes 1, and then Zug goes like this.
I had no idea Zug was a dancer.
All right, Zug, you gotta slow
And
down.
I got like
for
this.
me
And I got a
again.
shimmy.
I can't keep up with that. You're gonna have to do it one more time so that the DM can keep up with you.
Okay. I do this first.
Okay, Zug does this.
Then this. Then this.
Okay.
And then this.
Okay.
Then this.
Uh-huh.
Then this.
Uh-huh.
Then this.
Uh-huh.
Then this.
Okay.
Good healthy shoulders.
And then I shimmy.
And the woman just laughs at you.
I turn my head. I'm like, you don't like my moves?
Kane
And-
whispered at her, he can't read.
The door swings open on rusty hinges.
No way.
I love that the puzzle was solvable without reading, and Zuggy solves it.
And the woman looks at Zug and she says, very nice.
I am the
much?
smoothest of the group.
Wow,
says-
Zug, I am genuinely impressed.
She says, based off of the anti-magic that is cast on this tower, I do not wish to know what happens when the sequence is done incorrectly.
Just gonna
Um,
stare at her with wide open eyes. I'm like, there's an incorrect combination.
So she beckons you to come inside to the first floor of the tower. So as you peer into the tower, the flagstone floor is strewn with debris. There's a few old crates that are standing near the eastern wall of the tower. There's a torn curtain to the south that's partially obscuring the tower vestibule. And there is a 5-foot square indentation in the center of the floor containing 4 pulleys attached to taut iron chains that stretch up through a similarly sized hole in the rotted wooden ceiling. And standing next to each of the 4 chains are 4 tall clay statues. And the woman walks into the room and she says, do not worry. They only attack in defense. And she smiles. She says, the pulley can withstand maybe myself and one other. I think that one should go alone. And she points at Zug. And she gestures to the pulley system and she walks up to the square platform and stands on it. And she gestures next to her for someone to join.
I'll go.
And Syndra makes her way over and pops onto the platform. And the woman says out loud, 4th floor, please. And suddenly, the golems, the clay golems, raise the platform by pulling on the chains. And it jankily goes up and up and up. It is not a smooth ride. And it raises and lowers about 5 feet per movement, and the movements are quite jerky. As it pulls you up, Syndra sees the second floor. And on the second floor, there's dust and cobwebs filling the otherwise empty room. And the wooden floor is pretty badly rotted and partially collapsed in the center. As you continue to go up, again, second floor is pretty empty. You witness the third floor, which you've already seen. It's pretty destroyed, and it has mildew, and it smells pretty bad. The floor is pretty rotted, but the pulleys are still working. And finally, you get to the top floor, presumably the top floor, the fourth floor. And unlike the levels below, this room shows signs of pretty recent habitation. And although the place reeks of mold and mildew, it has plenty of creature comforts, including a cozy bed, a desk with a chair, some bright tapestries, an iron stove with plenty of wood. There is light entering through the arrow slits, those arrow slit windows, as well as through some dirt-caked windows with some broken shutters. And there is also a standing suit of armor and a wooden chest. There's some old wooden rafters that are bending under the weight of the tower roof, which has somehow remained intact. And mounted on the rafters are the pulleys that hang iron chains that support the tower's elevator platform. And upon entering into the room, the woman says to Syndra, I have been staying here a while, trying to look for where Rudolph may be about. And I have searched the room, perhaps looking for some clues. I know that he was here recently, but I have not found much. And you, having broken into my wagon, have seen just about as much as I have found.
All right. Also, in our defense, we were trying to find the rightful owner. Like, it kind of looked abandoned. We were just trying to get it. We didn't mean to offend.
She raises her eyebrows at you, and she says, "We are all out for ourselves here, are we not?"
You're not wrong. Would it be all right with you if I investigated and tried to figure out anything else about Rictavio? Or, sorry, Dr. Rudolph?
She says, I assure you, I've looked everywhere. Feel free to look around. And she says, but do be careful opening that chest. She points over to a wooden chest next to the armor.
Okay. Is it cursed? Why do you say that?
It's not cursed, but it is gross.
Okay. I'm pretty all right with gross.
Yeah, gross to a haunted one is really gross.
And she says out loud, she says, bring it down to the first floor. And the elevator system begins to move, and the golems begin to pull in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
And the platform begins to descend down to the bottom. And once the platform reaches the bottom, she pokes her head through the hole and she says, are the rest of you going to join us?
And hops onto the platform.
Remis will follow.
Okay, so Kane and Remis will get on the platform together. It appears to be able to hold your weight combined. and it doesn't do anything. It just sits there.
What did she say when she first went up?
She
The
said,
fourth floor, please.
Press the 4 on the side.
Does Zug say that?
Yes.
And upon Zug issuing an instruction, the golems begin to pull, and the elevator starts to rickety move up. Cool. And finally, she sends the platform back down, and she says, and she like looks down through like the 80 feet, and she's like looking around the room, and she says to you guys quietly so that her voice doesn't necessarily project. She says, I'm not sure about how much weight we can actually have here. It has never been more than me. I do not wish to offend your friend, but I am concerned.
I mean, it just carried up 3 people who I assume are over 100 pounds each. So he'd be all right.
I think the elevator platform will support Zug. She's worried about the fourth floor.
Yeah.
The
Because it's all
fourth
milk
floor.
stuff, and I weigh more than 2 of you combined.
Ramiz will look down and look at her and say, "Is there something in particular we need him here for?"
She says, "Oh, well, not necessarily. We don't have to stay here long, but it is, warm and away from the mists and the wolves."
Is it warm up here? Isn't there like a huge hole in the?
Can you say there the wind was picking up?
Yeah.
No, not on the fourth floor. The gash is in the third floor.
Uh,
So there is a stove in here, so it's warmer relatively than everywhere else for sure.
oh, she wants
How about I just go up the elevator and stay on the elevator then?
Boom.
She says, "I would be willing to try, but be ready." And she sends it down and she says, "Yes, why don't you come on up?" And she tells the elevator to ascend. The fourth floor is definitely less moldy than the others, but still slightly a concern. So Zug finally reaches the top level, and she says, "Leave that here," referring to the elevator platform. She's kind of sealing in some of the warmth. And she says, "You do not look so good." And she motions to the bed for you to like sit or lay down.
Kazug?
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hobble over.
Zug hobbles over to the bed and potentially sits down. And she says, "So, what are your names?"
My name is Cain. And what is your name?
Esmeralda. And she says, if you could not tell, am a Vistana. But it has been a while since my kind and I have gotten along. She says,
You seem different from the Vistani we have met.
She says, "I am very much so." And she points to the rest of you, inquiring your names.
Sindra.
Ramiz.
I'll raise my hand as I'm laying in the bed and I'll go, Zug the Thug.
That is only appropriate. She says, "I have searched this room, hoping to find some clues as to where Rudolph's whereabouts are. I found a charred page from his journal."
How long have you been looking for him? We saw him a matter of hours ago.
She says, "I have been here for maybe 1 month or so. He, as you all know, has been living in the Lackey.
Why did you lose touch? Why would you not know where to find him?
She says, well, that is a rather long story. And maybe we'll have time for that tonight. And she says, I am much more curious about where you last saw him. You said he was escaping the Lackey. So why did you come here to search for him?
Not to search for him, to meet him.
To meet him. And she says, and she makes some grunting sounds. I understand. He probably came here, saw my wagon, and decided to move elsewhere for the moment. She says, now he knows that I am here. And she squints off into the distance.
So you two are not exactly friends either.
Well, he was my mentor. But unfortunately, we have had a bit of a falling out. We argued, we did not get along, did not agree on everything. And he also, as you have read in this journal, I presume, has somewhat of a disdain for my kind.
You do not? You left them.
She says, you read the letter, yes?
No.
She hands it to you. Or actually, maybe she would read it out loud to you, which I'm not going to do again.
Please, I need to be in character.
And she says, this family that took Erasmus, this was my family. My family kidnapped his son, and it was us that delivered him into the clutches of the vampire. She looks off into the distance, out the dirt-caked window, and she says, even today, many years later, I can still hear Erasmus's pleas for mercy.
How long ago was it?
Maybe 3-4 years ago. As soon as my family sold Erasmus, I could not live with what my family had done. And though Rudolph spared my family's lives, he could have done us harm, but instead he interrogated my parents about where his son was. And after I saw this event, I knew that I needed to track him down and to learn. I ran away from home maybe 4 years ago. And finally, a couple years ago, was able to track down Dr. Van Richen. He nearly killed me, but he did not. Once I was able to convince him that I did not want his son to die, and I wanted to help him find his missing son, he told me what had happened. He had found his son, and he had ended his existence. We traveled together for several years, 1 to 2 years, maybe 2 years, and I helped him track down and slay many creatures of the night. But Dr. Van Richen was never able to fully trust me as a Vistani. He kept many secrets from me. We also tended to get on each other's nerves quite a bit, and the arguments, they started to get more frequent. And so at last I suggested that we part company with a shred of our friendship intact, and he agreed. He has not seen me for a while since then, and since bidding farewell, I have amassed quite a few things, and I have learned many lessons. And she points to her leg, the prosthetic. And she says, I have been sidelined for several months, and I now need to find him because we have a much more powerful foe. We must come together to stop.
What more powerful than Strahd?
She looks at you with like bug eyes. It's Strahd. She's talking about Strahd.
Yeah, that's what I guess Rumis was trying to point out, that she was dancing around just saying the name.
Do you want to hear her say Strahd? I had heard about this old tower, and after I rode my wagon through Vallaki and heard about this tower, it seemed like the sort of place that he would use as a base. And when I arrived here, I found some of his belongings, so I knew that he was staying here, but there was no sign of him himself. I am very anxious to learn about where he might be and to make allies of each other once more.
Could I do an insight check and see if she is genuine about that sentiment?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do that. Mm-hmm. Nat 20.
Damn.
If she is lying, she's fucking amazing.
Okay. All right, cool. Great. I feel better.
You sense, with the insight check, you sense that this is a woman who has very little to fear and does not make her way through the world by hiding, lying, disguising. She is just out there.
Okay.
She says, I have just come back from a trip to Castle Ravenloft. I barely escaped with my life. But I have surmassed some information. And she says, we should wait here and wait for Dr. Van Richen to return. He will come back.
That sounds like a good idea. It would be good to see Ulrich Tavio again.
And she says, it is weird to hear you call him that, but not surprising.
Why would he come back? He saw you and left, you said.
I know my mentor. He most certainly has seen my wagon. He knows that it is mine. And he is most likely scouting just to make sure that it is safe and not a hostile encounter. So we will leave him some signs to let him know. And she says, for now, it is getting dark. It might be time for us to take some time to rest, especially this one.
Yes,
I'm already
Zug
asleep.
does.
Zug's just passed out on the bed. She says, I'm going to do some research and some writing before I take for the evening. You are all welcome as friends of Dr. Van Richen and now myself to stay here.
Thank you.
And she says, and do not try anything. Number one, it will not work. And number two, it will certainly not work.
Well, you're right. Absolutely none of my spells work here. I'm fairly useless in this state.
You are.
He like lifts up his arm and points.
And with that, next time on The Curse of Esmeralda.
That was good.